Good morning. This morning we're talking about Cobram Estate, CBO on the ASX. Here's the website. The thing that I first noticed about Cobram Estate was that it is a very accessible company. They grow olives, they make olive oil. It is an Australian success story that we can all be proud of, and obviously what I'm hoping to talk about today is how we can all make money out of Cobram Estate. So Cobram Estate hit a classic buy point on Friday. That's last Friday, and the company is due to deliver its yearly report this Friday. And the note I'm making here is that it can be dangerous to make recommendations about a stock just before a reporting season report, given the tendency of the market to engage in a massive overreaction to anything which is perceived to be negative. But I don't think that is going to happen here, which is why I am making the call that now is a good time to buy in anticipation. I'm also making the point here that I am using ChatGPT to generate draft scripts for these videos. I don't see any problem with artificial intelligence being used as a tool. I think the artificial intelligence programmed into trading bots could be better described as programmed stupidity. But in terms of a research tool and a word count tool for a 10-minute video, it's perfect. So the note I make is that Cobram represents a perfect example of the ASX stock which is positioned to weather the chaos of the Trump administration. That's because Cobram has implemented a strategic plan to grow and manufacture its product for the American market in the United States. And that is, in the circumstances, an absolutely excellent strategy. Here are the financials. The thing that you will learn about Cobram is that it has borrowed and invested very heavily in establishing its United States operations. So the PE ratio at the moment isn't great. The debt to equity isn't great. And also it's a relatively young company, so there's not a lot of trading history to go on, but so far it's all positive, and as I am going to show you, the prospects are very bright. Okay, so what I've done, just for the sake of those who like a bit more of a formal approach that I'm adopting with these videos, is I have put the AI generated script or my amendment of it into these alternate slides, so that if you would like to actually read closely what ChatGPT thinks you should know about Cobram Estates, you can simply pause the video and read it. My actual script is going to be a little bit more freeform than that, but all these points are relevant. Here's what's really relevant to me, the chart. You can see that Cobram started in 2021. It took a little while for the market to figure out what it was valued at. The market, having made an assessment over the period of a couple of years, then got behind Cobram, and it has been growing steadily since mid-2023. My prediction is that that growth is going to continue into the long-term future. Here are a couple of points that ChatGPT thought were relevant. Consumer demand for healthier products and the company's own application to sustainability, which is worthwhile from the perspective of the breadth of of the investor base that the company can resort to. And while Trump is here now, he's not going to be here forever, and the time will come when rationality returns to the United States market. And here is the particular chart that dominates the buy point ASX approach. I just need to move this little timer out of the way, and you will see that down here below the MACD 0 line we have the buy point, which developed last Friday, a classic buy point. Here you can see the growth trend again, which is fairly classic. Having started to achieve growth, the market retraced, reconsidered the value proposition, and then began to grow again. And this retracement is simply the first opportunity cautious investors have had to buy into COB since about September. And it's an opportunity I'm obviously recommending that you take. And here's the predominant reason. Cobram is now very well established in the Australian market with 30% market share, but its US operations are what are most significant about the future prospects of the company. And as I say, I'm not going to repeat to you what the bots say about Cobram's financial performance, and I apologise for the spelling mistake, which the technology has picked up before I had an opportunity to correct it. One of the concerns I had about Cobram's operations in the United States was the fact that all we hear about what's happening in California these days is wildfires. What we can be reassured by is the analysis here in the Olive Oil Times back in 2020 that olive groves tend to be naturally resistant to wildfires. And obviously it's something that olive growers in California are going to pay attention to. Here's a repetition of the competitive advantage about Cobram: vertical integration, brand recognition, great products, and a commitment to research and innovation. And here is just something for my generation. When I went looking for graphics about olive oil, I thought this is all I'd find, because when I was growing up, this was what the words olive oil meant to Australians, because you weren't going to find bottles of olive oil in the kitchens of the average Australian in the 1960s. Of course, happily for all of us, that has completely changed. But I get the feeling that people who might be watching this video might be of a similar generation, and yeah, it's just a bit of a reminiscence. So here's the more calculation. I've covered some of that. Climate sensitivity, rising competition, currency fluctuations. But the whole point about having operations within the US economy is that you are immune to the chaos that Trump is going to generate for businesses outside the United States who want to do business in the United States for the next 4 years. And here is a particular announcement that I wanted to bring to your attention. This is simply an explanation of the situation of Cobram Estate's US operations, and this is the basis for the greater share of my optimism. Here's the conclusion that ChatGPT offered. It's accurate, but not terribly well informed. What is most significant is the insulation Cobram now enjoys from the Trump era chaos that is going to be a constant of our lives for the, well, in some senses, indefinite future. And here's just a reminder of what it is that we're talking about. The wonderful products that come from the humble olive tree, And here's the disclaimer.